Oh, recording as well. There we are. So I can start properly now. Thank you very much. So welcome to our webinar on the power of networking and on community. I love talking about this topic. And if you're interested, I will be talking about the WLA as well and what we get up to. So let me share my screen with you. I don't know if we've got Sue on the call. That's a lovely picture of Sue, isn't it, on our oh God, no. Let me just get to the first slide. There we are. Good stuff. All see me okay? All see this okay? Let's so let us do, oh yeah, always like to do this because I know we have new people on the call. So I'd like to know where everybody's from. Where are you calling from today? Where in the UK are you? And what's brought you here today? Just pop it in the chat box for me. Nice to see where everybody is, and the furthest away from me can get a big shout out. It's great doing this on the coachathon because we have coaches from all over the world, and it's brilliant because we get coach. We've had coaches from Australia and places in South America. Essex, hello Bonnie, nice to see you. Oh, we've got Amsterdam, fantastic. Oh, well done, Frederica. Oh, Claire, you're just down the road from me, marvelous. Calling in for another Essex girl. Oh my goodness, it's going too fast. Okay, Kent. Claire's in Chester, Harrogate. Keen to see what it's all about. Yeah, me too. What are we doing today? What is it all about? Oh, another, we've definitely got an Essex contingent. I wish we could kind of get a board where we could put all the pins in so that we can actually see where everything is. And East Sussex, lovely part of the world. Yeah, want to get more visible. So let's let's talk about what. Hello, Saul. Nice to see you. Welcome.
Hello.
Saul, where you need to put in where you're calling in from, because you might get the prize. You might beat Amsterdam, well, unless you've moved recently. Let me share my screen. Okay, great. There we are. So yeah, also I was interested in what's brought you here today. Always nice to know what it is. I know a couple of you said it is some for you about building business, some of you about networking. And we are going to get under the skin of what that's about. So a little bit about me, for those of you who don't know me, I quite like this collage. So I do two main things in my work. So I support women leaders, passionate about helping women to put their big girl pants on and create the life they want to lead and believe in themselves and find that courage and that authenticity. So I do lots of work within the WLA, which is our women's program, and I also am an exec coach, which means I work with as many men as women, and ultimately I just want to help leaders find their why, I guess, in the world and help them make it happen. We do have, there's always lots of smiley faces in our group because we do have a lot of great, we have a lot of fun, I think. The picture of me in the middle at the top there is me. I was very fortunate to go to Malawi in May to see the impact of our WLA coachathon, which, as you know, is happening in November, and I met some incredible women, really incredible, and just felt very humbled by the whole experience. It was brilliant. It made me more inspired to raise even more money this year for our charity. I love the horse racing. I was brought up in a family of bookmakers, so I've even been a bookmaker myself, but I do love being at the races. I love a day out. I love my dog Buddy. I live in the middle of nowhere and we go off walking all the time. So if you follow me on a Saturday, I do a little video, usually Buddy's in it, talking about topics to do with personal development, spiritual development, and anything that you're faced with as a leader. So leadership development too. So that's a little bit about me. All right. How valuable, scale of 1 to 10, is networking to you right now? There's a good question, isn't it? How valuable is networking to you right now? So pop it in the chat box. Let's just see what you come up with. Marvelous. Now that's good. So those of you who are, that's lots of high numbers. That's great. So does that mean you're doing lots of networking? I'm doing it, but I'm not very good at it, says Helen. Thank you, Helen. Because there's a bit around, struggle with it. And that's what we're going to have a little look at, actually, Anne. doing a lot of it, Sheba. Yeah, I guess once you get your head around it, because I never used to like the whole networking thing. Honestly, years ago, I didn't kind of get it or understand it. And once I embraced it, it then became really, it's a really, really powerful tool. And it isn't about getting a new job for me, although that can be an upside of it. It is about, it's a key skill, I think, for any leader to be able to just do it, really. Not fully engaged, struggling. So a bit of a mix. What I do want, for me, my intention would be at the end of this that you starting to get your head around that networking is incredibly useful, powerful, and you've just got to get over yourself. You've got to start doing it. And what we want to try and do is get you, thank you, Nikki. I agree. Yeah, it can be when you're an introvert, that walking into the conference, where there's a room full of people. And I don't know what industry sector you're in, but I often hear from women in a male industry sector that are male dominated, that's even more hard to walk in. But it's great at our International Women's Day conference, of course, because we get the men that do come have to walk into a room full of women, and they get equally as like, it's hilarious, actually. So I like that bit. So if you come into the conference, bring a man and let's show them what it feels like for us to do it as well. All right, thank you for that. That's really helpful. Okay. All righty. So this is what those of you who work with me should know this stuff inside out. But this is what I think happens to us women. This is why I believe the whole networking is so important. This is my little tiara, and you may or may not have heard of the Tiara Syndrome. Tiara syndrome is something us women suffer from quite badly, and it doesn't help because of the way we have been brought through education, in that we are encouraged to fill in the right form, do this thing, do that thing. We follow the rules, we do what we need to do to get on, and we get the gold star, and we know how we need to progress. And when we join a career and join a company, we tend to follow the pathway through. And our whole lives we tend to, and I'm being a bit general, but we do tend to think that if I follow the rules, I'll get rewarded. Now, what happens when you get to a senior level? The rules change. The rules aren't like this anymore. And too many women expect that their results will speak for themselves, that expect that, of course, I'm going to be invited into projects, I'm invited to take on a new job, or because of the results I've got. And it doesn't work like that, I'm afraid to tell you. So I don't know, anybody suffer from Tiara syndrome? Anyone believe it's based on their results? Is that something you can relate to? That if I work hard, I will be rewarded. That's what I'd like to see. Ringing true, says Helen. Yes, it is. It's so interesting. I remember once, I think it might have been one of the members actually saying to me, I didn't really understand what you meant about this Tiara syndrome when you first explained it, until it happened to me, and I realized other people were being promoted around me and I wasn't. And I realized, I had a sudden epiphany that actually I'm waiting to be invited in. And it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. All right. This is, I like this picture. So this is about us being invisible. So we're kind of present, but we're not present. So we're visible, but we're invisible, because we have a fear of showing up in the right way. A lot of women fear that they're going to come across as too aggressive, or they're going to become like the men, and they're going to be. So we hold back, and we don't have that presence, that impact, that authentic approach that we can have as women. It's too easy just to stand back in the shadows, and again, we think that it will come to us because of the fact we deliver. And I think the other thing with women is we sit and try and work it all out ourselves. Anybody relate to that one, actually? Anyone relate to, I think I can do it by myself? I will sit here and work it out, and I won't ask for help because that's a sign of weakness. And I'm sure it will come to me if I just keep thinking and overthinking and working. Yes, says Bonnie. And Charlotte, yes, of course, because we're super women, aren't we? We can do anything, we can take on the world, and I can do all this by myself. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, why would I ever ask somebody else? But you know how you feel when someone asks you for help and support, don't you? It really does change the dynamic. Right. Okay. Oh, and unfortunately, anyone relate to almost being burnt out? Anyone relate to feeling knackered, feeling like they haven't got their energy, feeling like they are constantly on the kind of wheel, and they will get through it, and they will get through it. And if I just keep going, I just keep going, and it will be okay. You know, I'll just do more, because obviously that's the answer. Yeah. Thank you, Catherine. And I have actually witnessed women who have burnt out, and they've had to take 6-9 months off work. Yeah, well done, Charlotte. Love it. I've changed. Yeah, Sarah. Yeah, being in that category too, menopause is a problem, isn't it? And yeah, many people have experienced that. And I think we don't, yeah, that's what I love about WLA. There is a different way. We can become we can be authentic, we can have what we want, but we have to be able to set boundaries. We have to tap into what we're great at and stop putting our hand up. It's that Tiara Syndrome. Oh, I'll do that, I'll do that, I'll do that. I'll prove that I can do it all, and then people will love me and want me and ask me to get on. And we just get to a point of exhaustion. In fact, there's a really good Sarah, that's amazing. I've learned a useful word called no. Fancy. Who'd have thought? There's a great report just come out. It's an American report, the latest Women on Boards. And I was reading it this morning, and it was talking about women in work, sorry, not women on boards, talking about the amount of women who are absolutely exhausted, because so many women are still taking on a lot of the jobs at home, and there isn't kind of an equal playing field, and it makes work different to oh gosh, Otter. Oh, don't go giving me tech. I don't do tech very well. So yeah, so anyway, I'm going to put that off because it's going to distract me. So I think we've really got to be mindful of the impact of working excessively and believing we can take on the world. And honestly, as you get older, we're not as resilient. We're just not. We're a bit more resilient in our 20s than we are a bit later on. So let's, in that context then, and the reason I shared that was that, again, for me, women are too busy firefighting with themselves half the time. They're trying to battle it out themselves. They believe that through working hard, they'll get the results. And therefore, when they think about building, extending, when the hell am I going to get the time to do that? And what's the value of that? So I'm curious, when you think about this word network, what does it conjure up for you? What sort of things do you feel when you see that? Daunting, that's a good word, Daniela. Inadequate, creating relationships, anxiety, effort. Yeah. Oh God, do you get that kind of sinking? Oh, I've got to go to a network event. Oh, anxious. Wow, why would anyone want to talk to me? Fear. Anne loves it. Yeah. Have you always loved it, Anne? I mean, Anne is a serial networker, I tell you. She could probably write 2 books on networking. She knows everybody, Anne. She's amazing. Strangers fear, colleagues enjoy it. That's interesting. And then there's the whole online, offline, isn't there? I was talking to somebody yesterday who said in person, absolutely fine. Online, hates it. And that was an interesting dynamic I'd not really appreciated before. So I don't like just seeing all them faces looking at me. I just can't bear it. So yeah, it does have different nuances for many people. And again, what I want you to do is to realize why it's so blooming important, and to get you thinking about the extent of your network and what you're doing to build that in your life, because I want you all to feel that it's definitely useful, you know how to go about it, you enjoy doing it, and you want to do it. And I think sometimes we get it all a little bit wrong. Got this little definition for you on thesaurus.com. Just to get you thinking about what is networking. So a supportive, listen to that word, supportive system of sharing information and services among individuals and groups having a common interest. So I think there is something about shifting our own interpretation of networking and what it means to us, and that it is about share, it's about support, it's about helping one another. And one of the biggest shifts I made in my own mindset a number of years ago was to stop thinking it's about getting and it's all about giving. And that really helped. I'm like, oh, I can go and help other people. That just sits with who I am. That suddenly makes it much better. as opposed to thinking, oh my God, I'm here to just take, and I've got to go and ask for a job, and all them kind of icky things that we think about that. Yeah, just think about what is it I'm going to give to people today? How can I help other people? Because you know what, those of you who don't like it, you can multiply that by probably, I don't know, 70-80% in the room also don't like it, because they also have the wrong mindset about what it is. Typical beliefs, anybody relate to these? We just talked about some of them. It's tedious, like takes too much effort. I don't know what to say. It's a bit shady. And I honestly, there's a lot of local networks I'm invited to. I just won't go, because you get that horrible kind of, it's the business card comes out, you know, and it's kind of slipped across the table, and you think, why? You know, I want to build a relationship. That's me. Networking is about understanding you and where you're at and what you want and what you need. It's not about suddenly I'm going to pick up the phone this afternoon and say, hey, let me buy something off you. It doesn't work like that. Networking, I don't really belong here. I hate the whole small talk. That's another thing, you know. Why do I want to do? Why do I want to just chit chat? That's just a waste of time. I don't actually know how to go up to groups. I don't have the time to do this. And similarly, someone said before, isn't it, that when you're an introvert and you walk into that big room, and I've got to pretend to be an extrovert, well, that just goes against everything I'm about. So yeah, anyone relate to some of those on there? People won't want to talk to me. Oh, Anne, yeah. Why would they? Why on earth would they want to speak to HR in ABD? Why? I mean, there's just no reason at all. It's funny, isn't it? You know, of course you've got to think you have something to offer, because of course you do have lots to offer, whether it's in your professional work or it's in your personal work. We've always got stuff we can offer other people. So yeah, these are very real beliefs that people do have, that we need to shift and change. And a few interesting stats that I dug out. I thought this was really interesting. For those of you who want to use networking to get a different job, I felt this was quite powerful. There was a LinkedIn survey that says 80% of professionals consider networking to be important. 80%. And not only that, but 70% of people were hired at a company where they had a connection. So it all comes through people you know. And a third, say, a casual conversation led to opportunities such as new business deals, partnerships, not just all about jobs. I do believe LinkedIn's a great platform. How many of you are on LinkedIn? How many of you? Well, I can say, I bet, yeah, you're on LinkedIn. Are you using LinkedIn? Shall we put it that way? Are you an active user of LinkedIn, or are you just on there with a photo of you at a friend's wedding and your CV's been uploaded? Because I see that quite a lot. Sarah, yeah, and you use it. Claire, yeah, you do. And a bit limited, using it a bit more, more of a lurker. I like that expression. Anne uses it every day. Yeah, I think it's really shifted and changed, hasn't it, over the years, LinkedIn. I think initially it was very much about finding a job, but I think nowadays there's a huge number of connections on there, and there's loads of stuff you can do. We've got some materials in the membership site. Actually, we've had various experts on about LinkedIn, but it's a really powerful platform for you, and I start to share the next little bit with you. All right. That okay. Right, you are. This is a great statistic, isn't it? Have you ever thought about that before? This comes from Gail Porter, that your network is your net worth. Who you surround yourself with, so powerful. Actually, your life is a reflection of the people you surround yourself with. So if you're not happy with an aspect of your life, you need to change the people you are surrounding yourself with. It's that simple. And I know that to be true. You know, I've had to shed some people in my life, and I've welcomed new people in, because I'm always thinking about, for me, I want people who expand my thinking, challenge my thinking, support me, and people who think differently, because I'm all about wanting to change the world, as I'm sure some people are, and I need people who can help me think that through. So it's interesting to think about, who are you surrounding yourself with day in, day out, because they are a reflection of your life. And you've probably heard of the old energy zappers as well as the energy givers, and you don't need any energy zapper in your life at all, I promise you. You need to think about, again, where are your energies at, and how are you developing. All right, WLA guys, you've seen me do this before, but we're going to do it again because I love doing this exercise. We are going to do an exercise called How Many Calls Away From Are You? It's a bit of fun, but hopefully it'll prompt some thoughts for you. And I have to do this rule because seriously, it went so badly wrong when I used to do this in a talk, like when I used to go out and speak. And when it says how many phone calls are you away from, that means in your phone, are you a one call away from means you have their number in your phone, okay? 2 calls means you know someone who knows them. And 3 calls means you know someone who knows them. So we just do a bit of fun, and we're going to see how many phone calls away from are you. So I want you to start to think about the power of your network, and what I like to phrase it as your power base. So let's talk about CEOs. Very different depending on your industry you're in. I get that. You might even be your own CEO. So if you are, how many phone calls away from are you from either your CEO or from another CEO of a fairly big business? Would you like, I want some interaction on the chat box on this, please. So the first one is CEOs. How many phone calls away from are you? Oh, loads of you are at one. Look at that. Oh, we've got 3 there, and it is different depending on where, the type and size of organization that you're in. So 2 or 3, yeah, okay. So that's the first one, and it's interesting not only where you are, but how many CEOs of other industries do you know? If I was to ask you right now to get an Excel spreadsheet out and write down all the CEOs you know of businesses, how many would you have? And then how many phone calls away from are you from them? Quite an interesting piece of thinking, that one. All right, what about board members? So, again, I'm curious that if you're in a big company, then you might be quite away from, but board members either in yours or again in other organizations. Obviously, you've got lots of ones. This is good. Yeah, great. Some 2 for Siobhan. Okay, so that's nice and easy. Let's do this one then. What about your industry association? I hope you are all getting some sort of professional development in your business. And I'm curious about the leaders of within your professional association. How many phone calls away are you from them? So we've got a few more 2s here on this one, and 3 there. Some of you might go, I haven't got a clue because I don't do any professional development. That's fine. For others, it's perhaps more important. But if you're in HR, then your local CIPD, have you got a phone call away from them? If you're in SEMA, how many calls are you away from the chair of SEMA, example? Just starting to think about broadly, and also challenging yourself, think, how many associations am I in? How many of them am I associated with? Okay, next one is headhunters. We always need a good headhunter around us, guys. Not necessarily just for us, but as you grow in your career, you're going to need a great team, and you need a great headhunting company or headhunters who can help you find the best people for you. So how many of you are 1 phone call away from a headhunter? Look at all these 1s. This is brilliant. Very impressed. 1 phone call away from a headhunter. That's great. I love it. I love it. Love it. We're all looking for jobs. We might be all looking for our team, Sheba. You don't know. And there might be HR people in here as well. We don't know that either, do we? All right. What about investors and high net worth individuals? So we're talking people of 7-figure club, sort of multi-millions, would be great. How many of you are 1 phone call away from private investors, equity people, banks, etc.? So a bit further away in this one. Yeah. Okay. A little bit further. There'll be a few more 2s and 3s. And why might that be important? Why might it be important to have investors, high net worth individuals in your gang? Yeah, Agreed. That's the big one for me, Sheba. It's their network. They know everybody. They will know people, and if you can form a great relationship, and then if there's an ask you want to make and they have a good respect of you, it's so much easier to get in. It's so much easier. And yeah, they might also want something, Sarah, that you've got. Absolutely. You may want them to invest in you and your business or your organization. Absolutely. But I think it's really interesting just to think about who are the influencers in your network and how well connected are you to them. So much easier than trying to figure it all out yourself. Journalists and media. So how many of you one phone call away from, and I have to say, so I'm not talking about the Village Mag here. I have one that comes around, the Burwardsley bloody news or something that comes out once a month. I'm not talking about that. We're talking significant journalists or newspapers or magazines. How many phone calls away from are you? And again, why is this one important, do you think? Why is it useful to have journalists and media in your black book, let's say? Carol knows a zillion. Ooh. Oh, a zillion away. I thought you knew a zillion journalists. I was going to say Carol's in the know. A long way away. Yeah. And zillion, yeah. Thanks, Carol. Yeah, so what's the benefit of journalists and media? What would be the benefit of that? Further your scope and your network. Yep. Yeah, and good PR, absolutely. And again, it's their networks, isn't it? Yeah. You'd like to be further away. Oh, that's a curious statement. Insider info, their influence, etc. They know what's going on, don't they? What about athletes and sports personalities? So how many phone calls away are you from people, again, who especially are amazing performance athletes? They blow my mind. I was at a Paralympian lunch a couple of weeks ago, and it was amazing just to hear some of the stories of the Paralympians. Just brilliant, actually. Their mindset, their discipline, their rigor. I just find it incredibly inspirational, actually, to have those kind of people. And again, imagine the people they know and what they're up to. Imagine having someone like that in your life who you could just be inspired by. I think it'd be phenomenal. I've loved it. We had Kate Richardson-Walsh, didn't we, come and speak at our conference last year, the ex-England hockey player. And again, just being with her, yeah, thanks, Charlotte. She was amazing. Just again, really, we've got to surround ourselves with people who are bringing us through. Celebrities and actors, how many are you away from here? How many are you away from? And we're not talking about walk-on parts from Aunt Fanny. We're talking about lots of twos. So you know someone who knows someone. Claire's been on a dinner date. Oh, ka-ching. Oh, I think we might need to go for a glass of wine. I love it. And 3 away from as well. Brill. Okay, so what I would like you to do, I'm actually just briefly, I'm not going to do it for very long. I'm going to put you in a couple of breakout rooms. So I just want you to share, just for a couple of minutes, what you think of your network. What do you think of your network? Just have a think about. I'll put you into small groups, 3s and 4s, and I'll just give you about 3 minutes. 3 minutes. That'll be a minute each. And the person with the darkest hair can go first. All right. I'll see you in a moment. And carry on with it. Yeah, I think that's a really good shout, actually. Yeah, in terms of the global nature of our networks, completely, and what's the effect of that. That's a really good, and that certainly helped for something like our coachathon, where we're getting women from and men from all over the world taking part. So yeah, no, good shout. Yeah, great. So is that useful? This is where you go, yes, Sandra, that was really useful. Oh, good. We've just welcomed a few new people to us as well. So let's carry on. with where we are on our little journey. So that's thinking about your network. And I do really like this concept of a power base. And it doesn't mean, again, the word power can be quite masculine. It can be quite dominant, but I think you need to have a solid base of people that are cheering you on, supporting you and challenging you. So having done that exercise, I thought you might like to just have a little think about this. So we like to, in WLA, split out our sort of lives into different component parts. We don't just do career. And I think there's something about thinking about where's your current strength. So when we think about, and just maybe jot these down on a piece of paper. So give yourself, let's do high, medium, low, probably. Or do we a score? Oh, I should have thought about that before now, shouldn't I? High, medium, low, we'll stick with that. So your work power base, would you say, you're pretty happy with that? Or is it's just, the other thing that can happen with women is that we can often create a network. It's called an operational network. So we focus on a network of people who help us get today's job done. But you need to think about other networks. You need to think about your professional one and your strategic network as well. And how well known are you is quite a good question to ask yourself in your work sphere. So high, medium, low. The industry wide, so your particular sector you are in, are you known at all? Do you go out and speak at conferences? Do you attend events? How well known are you there? That we did talk before about the high net worth individuals and influencers, whether that's the sports people or who that might be. So again, what's your strength there? Are any of you into volunteering? Are you involved in any local groups, local communities? And again, what's the strength of that? Hobbies and interests is a good one. If you're into tennis, seems to be a place people seem to meet lots of people. I don't know if you're into tennis, but is there a place, a hobby that you do that you might want to get involved in? I was going to give not a very good example, so I'll move on. And your personal development as well. This is about how are you developing you to be your best self in your world? And have you got a coach? Have you got a mentor? Have you got a sponsor? Are you involved in things that are helping you to be the best version of you? Your strength of your LinkedIn profile, how would you rate that? And if there's anything else. And when you've done that, again, just pop in the chat for me any sort of thoughts or insights that you've had from that exercise, or anything that you've realised you're doing well. Have you got any big gaps you don't know what to do? Or just a word or two about any insights you've got about your power base. Always good to hear. Sometimes good to do this as a numbered exercise, and then you can get a scale. Those usually like numbers. It's quite good to say if you have a scale of 1 to 10 and then add them up, and you can look at where that is. A long way from where I want to be. Oh, Lorraine, okay. That's good, isn't it? I'll come back to that slide actually in a second. Yeah, so again, life changes, doesn't it? I've had kids and my whole life changed when I had kids, and now my kids have gone and my life's changing again, and things just keep moving in lots of different ways. You might be underscoring yourself. Yeah, this is where it's quite useful to chat with others, isn't it? Switching sectors, that's a good shout, Claire, actually. And also people who switch geography as well. It's quite hard, isn't it, when you move somewhere new to get to know people again and so on. So yeah, lots to think about. And I also, even though I've shared this with you, I don't want you to go and get overwhelmed by, oh my God, I need to get high in 10 categories and I've got to start today and I don't know where to go or what to do. I would just pick, in fact, let me share the next slide with you, because I think this is quite interesting. Think about perhaps just one category now. When you look at those groups, which is one category that you'd like to strengthen? If there's one way you think that your network is your power base is a bit weak, where would be one that you would like to focus on? And then just start to think about people in that category. Do you know anybody in there? If it's work and you think, do you know what, I'm too insular and I could do with really expanding and getting to know some of the influencers in my business, then who are they? And what's your relationship like with them right now? Is it good, bad, indifferent? If you don't know anybody in that category, who, in terms of your power base, is 1, 2, or 3 phone calls away? And then, of course, the key question is, what are you going to say? What the hell do you say to somebody? And it's different, obviously, depending on which group you're in. But you never, ever, ever, ever ask anybody for a job straight away. Please don't. If any of you are looking for a new job, you don't suddenly go, I hate this on LinkedIn. I don't know if any of you feel the same, but suddenly on LinkedIn, when people are made redundant or they're looking for a new job, they suddenly want to be your friend and they're asking you those questions. Like, no, build a relationship with me long term, not just when you need something. So I think when you're thinking about this whole idea of building a power base and building a network, think give. What can I give? What's in it for them? And what is it that I can give in return? Not always easy to find out. But that's why you need to give this some thought and then think about who can help you with that. Yeah, and next steps. Any questions anybody's got on that? Any thoughts on that in terms of that as a concept and what you might need to do? Happy to take any, or any comments if you haven't got questions. No? Stunned into silence. Got it cracked?
I think when I did this power base last time, maybe last year or during COVID, I can't remember, I identified quite a lot of people who I thought I could link with to help improve what I was trying to achieve. And actually, then afterwards, I realised that I have got a strong power base. I just don't use it enough. And I think it's that reaching out and feeling that you're causing an inconvenience by asking someone for help. But actually, like we discussed in our little breakout room, it's actually people find that as a compliment that you've asked them for their advice and their help, and you've got to sort of flip it around and see it from that perspective.
Definitely, completely agree, Sarah. Yeah, absolutely. And you know yourself, when someone reaches out and asks you, it's usually like, oh, I'd love to help if I can. So similarly, yeah, you're quite right. You might have a power base, but are you actually working with it in a really good way? Good. All right. So, oh, I just shared this again because of this whole kind of idea. I can't get this out of my head. Women trying to do it all by themselves, which is why I wanted to talk to you about networking and community. And I think I realized the power of community. Oh God, it was very late in my career, if I'm honest. I'd say only maybe the last 10 years. I realized that I didn't have to do it all alone because it takes a lot longer. And I dug out something on Huffington Post, actually, that were talking about the power of community. And when you think about all those groups and so on, please don't try and do this by yourself. It'd be my ask. And I think communities, if you can start to create the time, because we never have enough time to do anything, we've got to make the time to do this. Finding your right community that's going to help you is a key thing we have to be mindful of. So when you're in a community, you learn. Who'd have thought? But you can learn from other people's perspectives. You can take that and it will make you a better person back in the office. So there's lots you can do around learning. I know I absolutely love learning. It isn't one of my top 5 strengths, but it's in my top 10. And I'm forever thinking about how do I improve myself? How do I improve my knowledge so I can serve people in a better way? And I find it much nicer I love being on live webinars myself because I learn better that way. And I do also have a stack of books, but I love learning. I think you can also be really inspired by other people. And sometimes when we're battling it out on our own, some of us might have problems at home. It's not kind of the conducive environment there where we can go and feel that support, or it's just a bit overwhelming. So having a community that, again, inspires you and pulls you through and makes you think bigger and better than you ever could, I think is another benefit. So these came from Huffington Post. The connections, the little black book. I can't tell you, well, I can tell you and we will tell you, but the power of the WLA in terms of the connections people are forming, and not only the friendships but the business collaborations that are being done, it blows my mind again and again. And I think, again, that's one of the wonderful things about connecting community. If you think those of you taking part in the coachathon this year, what a fabulous community that is, and our support for each other. And I certainly made some lovely friends through the coachathon and got to know some great coaches. And we'd never have done that if you just sit on your own trying to work it out yourself. Resources, of course, where best placed to communities can help you find resources, whether that's people, places, finances, whatever you're looking for. and support. And I had to share this actually, because this was what we got on the WLA. That one, that one on the left, names anonymous. So yeah, I felt it really touched me actually, that people in our community find it incredibly supportive. And I believe that building your power base, building all those different categories where you want to excel, don't try to do it alone. As I say, whether I want to talk about WLA in a minute, we may or may not be for you, but think about, where am I getting that community and that group support? Where am I getting that from? Because again, you don't want to do it alone. All right, let me just stop there. So questions from people on communities, questions from people on the power of networking. And then what I want to do is talk to you about WLA, if that's okay. But before I move on, does anybody want to say anything? Anybody stuck? Anyone not sure? Anybody got any questions about networking that I haven't touched on? It is a topic we could talk about forever. Yeah, having your own posse. I like that word, Sarah. Who's cheering you on? That's the question I have. Who is cheering you on in your work? That's the key thing. So does anybody, I just want to pick on, I'm not going to pick on anybody. Would anybody like just to talk about the power of the WLA community before I run through what we do and how we do it, and see if it's of any interest? Any of our members wishing to speak? Charlotte?
Yes, I would, please, Sandra. So I'm one of those people, the person sitting in the black chair, looking at a board of stuff, haven't got a clue how to do it, but think I can definitely do it all on my own. Well, that was actually me a couple of years ago. It's not me anymore. And I joined the WLA. I think it was just like the first lockdown or just before then. So everything was virtual. And I came on and I didn't put my screen on. And actually, you can, in WLA, it's quite a good bonus, only if you're really busy, that you can watch the things back on a recording. But it's so much better to do it in person. But I did the first 6 months on a recording, so I was still trying to do everything by myself. But but now I've got my power base, I think, in the WLA, and a really great group of people, and actually new people that you learn from, even when new people join in. It just expands and grows, and it's great. But it's been really changing for me, and I am just a different person. I'm a better person for having those people around me, and some of the people, a lot of people actually on this call really helped me, and I've just got a recent promotion which I'm in love with, actually, and it's a challenge, but it's really great, and the only way I got there was through the WLA.
Oh no, well, yeah, but you're a pretty tough, resilient cookie as well, Charlotte. You know, come on. No, we were absolutely.
Well, the biggest push, I think, was through there.
Yeah, I think we gave the encouragement, don't we? I do use the phrase, if you put your big girl pants on, because we can hold ourselves back, can't we? No, we were absolutely delighted that you've got yourself a director role. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Yeah, thank you. Anyone else want to say before I go through? Oh, Claire Smith's got her hand up. Hello, Claire Smith.
Hi everyone. I'd love to just share a little bit of my story, and I've invited a couple of people to come on this call today. I joined, you know this story, Sandra. I joined the WLA 2 years ago, paid my subs and never turned up. So yeah, it was my charity of choice. But then I really showed up about 18 months ago, and I signed up with the Coach-thon, and I met this amazing community of people who some have become friends, and it's really, really changed my career. It really has. I've moved into a new sector, moved into a new role, had no confidence, was worried about my network, and also how would I be taken seriously at exec level. And if you join the WLA, you win awards. So if you didn't see my post, joining WLA, you get confidence, community, networking. I would never have dreamt of entering awards. And yeah, join the WLA, and if nothing else, you do win awards. So it's
by the way, these are industry recognised awards. They're not just sending you a little gold badge in the post, are they? No,
Industry Business Culture Awards 2022, and I'm so proud. But without this community, without your guidance, Sandra, and these fantastic learning sessions, so anybody even on the fence of thinking of joining Siobhan, I'm thinking you should.
Oh.
You won't regret it, but you have to show up, and it's not easy. You show up. And,
I agree with that, and actually that's thank you very much, Claire, and it's lovely having you here. I think that's the thing when you join communities, isn't it, that it's you have to put the effort in, and it's like, oh my god, when am I going to fit that in? And well, my challenge back is, well, what is it that you want to get? If you want to stay where you are and believe that, it's like, you used the example, Claire, didn't you? You join a gym and you expect to get fit and you don't go. Oh god, I didn't get fit. Well, you know, no shit Sherlock, you know, fancy that. But also it's they say with New Year's habits, isn't it, creating a new way of being and new behaviors. You've got to fit that into your workload, and it does take a little bit of time to get there. But yeah, when you do show up, we see it again and again and again. Lovely. All right, Claire and Anne, and then I will take you through what we do and what we get up to. So Claire.
Thanks, Sandra. Well, just quickly, I mean, I joined because I wanted to find a new network of like-minded women and a sense of community, really, because I was working by myself a lot at the time and I missed the company of other people. So I was really looking to expand my network. I never thought I'd been very good at networking either. So it was easy to do it over Zoom during lockdown, so I could reach more people. So that was good. And also, I think now to rebuild some confidence. I was going through the menopause at the time. I'd lost my confidence. I'd had some setbacks in the past and my confidence had gone, although I knew I had lots of potential still. So I wanted to try and rebuild my confidence. And I think being part of a community helps you do that. I can't always make the sessions, but I know it's always there. And I do value it, and I get to the sessions I can. But I know the recordings are there and the people are there. And once you've established the contacts, you can reach out to people that you know can support. Not having your own organisation or your own life at the moment. And I think also the learning and growth in a group situation has been fantastic. You know, there are lots of coaches who are members as well. So not just Sandra, but, you know, in the breakout rooms, you know, you get the benefit of having conversations, but also with coaches. So they can help you as well as you helping them. And it is fun. And I think I was missing a bit of fun as well. So, you know, I think I'm starting to embrace the fun side of things more as well as I've got to know people. I'm a bit of an introvert. So, you know, sit back and have to get to know people first, and then I might reveal that I am a bit funny or can be a bit funny at times. So yeah, I recommend it. Certainly.
No, that's really kind of you. Lovely. Thank you very much. Really, really great. We love having you in the gang. Anne, you had your hand up and then it's gone down.
Yes, sorry, only because you noticed it.
Okay.
I'll be very quick. I just wanted to say, for those people on the call who do worry about networking, the WLA is a great place to network and to start networking if you're feeling a little bit apprehensive or anxious about it, because it's a very, very supportive place to be. It's a safe place to be. It's an environment where you can start as small as you want to. So if you met somebody today on a breakout room and you got along with them, then I would say, you know, make contact with them after today, and then they will introduce you to other members, and then you will get to know other members, and your networking can just slowly and comfortably grow in the WLA in a way that you will feel comfortable with. And I absolutely promise you that is true, because I've seen it happen, and I have been a member from the beginning, so I've seen it happen a lot. So I just wanted to tell people on the call that if they were worried about it.
Oh, that's lovely, Anne. Thank you. And two things with Anne. Yeah, Anne was at the very first conference we did, which was in a Chinese restaurant, and she stuck with me from then. And two, Anne gave up her very long-standing career in the NHS. Been there for a long, long time, and and eventually set up a coaching practice. And
I did, and that was again,
really well,
you know, with support from members of the WLA, encouraging me and being supportive and giving me the belief that I could do it. So yes.
And if you want a coaching session with her at the Coachathon, you've got to be quick because her sessions are almost sold out. And it's going to cost you 25 quid to work with Anne. That's it. And she changes lives. So get yourself on a session. All right, let me share. I know some of you will have to drop off at lunchtime, but those of you who are interested, let me talk to you a bit about the WLA and what we get up to, what it actually looks like. And away we go. We get this, honestly makes me feel so I can't even put into words really when we get this, and we do get it such a lot, this kind of life-changing, rediscovered who I am, I'm a braver, stronger person, it was a lifesaver for me, it's been transformational. We do get that a lot, and it's it is not, none of that is made up, you know, it really is a wonderful community of women. Results you can expect to get anything from lots of women come with imposter syndrome, and we get you over that because you'll see other women doing things and they're being really brave, and they're going to encourage you to be really brave. We get lots of women who move on in their careers, and it does not everybody wants to get to the top. That's fine. What I want to do is ensure that you are living your best life, and that you're working in an environment that brings your gifts out, that you've got a great boss, and that you are enjoying yourself every day. I remember many years ago when I was in corporate and I went through a real tough time. And I was crying. I used to cry on my way to work. It was just, life was just so bloody hard. And I just thought, is this it? Is this what it's going to be? And you can kind of, I stayed in that little doldrum for a while, and then I thought, no, I'm going to have to make some changes, because I believe, and now I have the best life ever. I really do. And it can happen. If it happens to me, it can happen to anybody. We can change your life if you want it changing. We also do focus on leadership. We help women to become an authentic version of themselves. I'm very much about who you are as a person, and I'm bringing that out into the world. And not, you can take all the armor off. That's what we try and do. And we get you to push boundaries that you didn't think you could possibly do. We focus on a model of 4 energy, so our whole curriculum is built around this, and I really love this model. So we look at your health and well-being. We have sessions on helping you get that inner resilience, self-care, and so on, because you can't show up if you're knackered all the time. So what are we doing about that? We also look at your mental resilience, your thinking, your clarity of who you are, your strengths, and what it is that makes you even more productive. Emotional intelligence is really key, and we help you think about the whole relationships and your own emotional radar and empathy and all that great stuff. And of course, the spiritual side, which I'm really passionate about, which is about how do we help you bring your feminine out? How do we get you clear on your leadership, clear on your values? And so you lead with a lovely cross-section of these 4 energies. So again, we're helping you, we hope, to be the best version you can be. So in practice, what does it look like? We have every month we do a live leadership masterclass. So these are 90-minute sessions over lunchtime. We find that to be the best route for members who are busy. They are all recorded. We follow that curriculum. So there's breakout spaces, there's it's myself, or we have guests who come and run the classes as well. But they're all about helping you grow as a leader and giving you the curriculum that you need. We also have our productivity power hours, we like to call them. So because so many women get overwhelmed, on the 1st of every month, we sit together and we say, get the diaries out. Let's have a look at what have you achieved. We're really into celebrating what you've achieved, no matter how big or small. We love to hear people's things. And when you hear people like Claire Smith telling us she's won awards, we're all of us are really happy about that. We love to celebrate each other. And then we say, right, what are you working on now? Because we can get overwhelmed, we lose sense of our priorities. So we help you think about your planning. We also map a 90-day planning process into the year. And to complement that, everybody has the opportunity to work with an accountability buddy. So you can work with somebody else in the membership from a different industry sector maybe, who can help you. And each week you pick up the phone and say, how are you getting on? And that's a lovely way to build a friendship, but also to keep you on track, which is what we love to do. We have an annual bonus day, which is great because if you join now, that will be a marvelous. In January, we'll do a full day where we're going to map out your whole life for the next year. And it's a wonderful day where you look at all the different categories as to what's working well, what isn't working well. And so we build you a plan for the year. And then you can use that to help you both at work and outside of work. And you can use that to meet with your buddies. Obviously our amazing community, that's what it's really about. You will get the opportunity to be with these amazing women, and we have a private LinkedIn group, as well as our membership site, so you get to meet women from all different industry sectors, all different levels, who are wanting to support. We have a membership hub where all of our resources are on there, and there literally are kind of hundreds of webinars. We've been around a bit now, and we've got podcasts, motivational videos. We even used to do a magazine every month. Anna will remember that. We did a magazine for a few years, which we'd send out every month. But there's all sorts, again, of resources you can access there to help you think about your leadership and your progression. We do an onboarding session now where we map out your leadership for where are you going as a leader, what's the plan you need, we get you to self-assess in terms of where you're at, and then to encourage you to think about what is my leadership plan, and that should help guide you through the year with all the different modules that we've got, and for you to access previous materials that are in the membership site. We have, and we're starting all our amazing planning right now for International Women's Day. So excited about this. It's our biggest day of the year, those of you who've been, what do you reckon about our International Women's Day? Who hasn't spoken that might like to say a word or two about it? Anybody want to share? What about Mel? Mel Carlin, you've been quiet. Where have you want to say something? Where is she?
Do you know what? I was busy eating my lunch, sorry.
Caught you.
Yeah.
She's saying, what's the question?
Do you know what? Very healthy. International Women's Day. Oh my gosh, you've already used the words before. That was my way into the WLA, because that day itself was life-changing. The amount of connections, inspirational talks, networking in a really fun environment. Yeah. And I think the topics as well that we've had on previous International Women's Day have just been so right, that it's brought brilliant experts into the room that have made you laugh, cry, question yourself, and go away with some really, really amazing ideas.
Thank you, Mel. Yay. Oh, we've changed a bit, haven't we, over the years on that one. So yeah, International Women's Day, March the 2nd next year. Right, so if you want to join, I've got a couple of bonuses to throw in. We open and close the doors in the WLA because we found it's much more powerful to bring on a cohort of women so we can work with you and help you. So we used to have membership, you can join whenever you like. We've stopped doing that. So we are only going to open for the weekend. So we're just doing a short launch because we've got so much going on with the Coachathon and our International Women's Day, and there's too much. So we thought we have got people who've been waiting to join us. So we are going to open the doors this weekend, and the doors will close on Monday night, actually. So Monday, whatever the day of the week that is, not day of the week, date of the month, I should have said. So you will get some bonuses if you want to join. We did a leadership festival at the start of lockdown where I got, oh my God, about 30 speakers, because we were also, what the hell are we going to do and how do we support leaders? And we did some amazing topics, and all of them have been recorded and they're all available to you if you would, as a first bonus. Coachathon is coming up on the 16th of November. You will get, I am going to gift anybody who joins this weekend a coaching session. They're 25 quid, but to be honest, they're not 25 quid, are they? Because they are life-changing. So what do you put a price on that? We've also got some trackers and planners, just some nice tools to help you, which you'll get. And if you join for the whole year, I absolutely believe that it takes a few months for you to get into the rhythm of the WLA. I've seen this again and again. Some women join and they're like all over it straight away, and they kind of throw themselves in. Tends to be the extroverts, and they're with us and away they go. But most women sort of take a bit of time, and I think it's better to join. You'll see the results when you've been with us a little while. So you can join us on a monthly, or you can join us as an annual. And what we thought was, if you want to join us as an annual, we're going to gift you the recordings from our a career program. We did a boot camp where we helped loads of women think about, where am I going, how am I going to get there? And there were loads of tools and tech and frameworks and materials. It was 8 weeks long. You'll get all that for free. So the price, if you're interested, it's £75 a month to join, and you can drop off at any time. The annual membership, if you want to do that, is 900 plus VAT. Now, we also have corporates pay. So if you're in a corporate, it's a great idea to ask your boss for funding. For them, honestly, it's not a lot of money. And lots of corporates want to shine a light on helping women progress. So it's a really good idea to ask there first, and you'll get all the bonuses. But if not, if you're not quite sure and you want to try us out, then maybe join us for 2 or 3 months and see what you think. We will be here to support you all the way. We have a great team, and you see the amazing people that are here. And let it be the beginning of a new journey for you. You'll find all the details on the WLA.com. So, questions from, who's got some questions? Or anybody else who joined more recently want to say anything about what it's like in the WLA? Claire, another Claire. So you can only be called Claire to join our gang. I'm kidding, by the way.
So I actually had my anniversary this week. I've only been with the WLA for 3 months. Similarly to Mel, I actually joined after the conference, the IWD. I literally came away like, that group of people are for me. Like, how can I get into it? Badgered my director, and as a result, I've been able to join, and it has literally changed my outlet from personal, professionally, and I know so many more people in the group. I feel so much more confident. I've opened the networking space in work. It's just been absolutely amazing. And I think not even just like professional, but from a personal point of view, shared things like, you know, me and the children went out and did a litter pick, and they got put in the newsletter at school. And just the environment is just so, yay, like, well done. It's just a lovely, lovely, really special place to be. So thank you, Sandra, because it's just been amazing. I've literally done 3 months. So God help me in 3 years.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you so much, Claire. And again, it's nice because you're one of the women who has kind of got into it, haven't you? You did sort of say, right, I'm going to actually make it a priority. And
but
you
do have to show up. And I know, you know, Claire Smith mentioned that, and you really do. I think you can't half-heartedly do it, because I'm not sure you'd get, you know, what you want from it. But if you do show up and do it, the results are amazing.
Yeah. And that's why we like to give you an accountability buddy as well, because we know it can be daunting to enter a group, and you might think, oh my God, am I going to fit in? And so if you have sort of an accountability buddy who you can both kind of be together, and then you can start, as you say, gradually expand, which is why we quite like the breakout groups, because you just start to get to know each other in a different way.
Yeah, it's safe but stretching. It's strange. It's like you feel really safe and empowered, but then it's also stretches you out your comfort zone in a really welcoming way.
Right. That's a nice way to put it, Claire. Not thought of that before. Safe but stretching.
Yeah.
Good. So who's got some questions for me they'd like to ask about anything we've gone through today, and in particular about the membership?
When's the January all-day planning session? Do you know?
You're asking me that.
Yeah,
Helen,
sorry.
Don't. You know what I'm like. I'll get the wrong day of the week. Helen will tell us. It's in January. I know that.
It is. I can tell you when it is. Just one moment.
Yeah, it's a great session, that one. Really good. It's best to be on live, isn't it, if you can? Yeah.
Wednesday, the 11th of January.
Lovely. Thank you.
Good. And you heard it from the boss. Yeah. No, brilliant. Thanks, Claire. Yay, good. Yeah, so anybody want to ask any questions about what they've heard today?
Do you mind if I just ask a question? I registered my interest a while ago, so with this weekend window, do I need to get on and book on? Is that to join? Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah. Because then we've got a date we want to onboard you together, and then we can get you into the program. And again, we thought we'd do it in October, because we won't open doors until after the conference, which is on the 2nd of March. So if you're thinking, I'm not sure if now's the right time, that will be the next time we do it. Or you might even want to come to the conference instead. But yeah, we just want to do a short window because we've got loads of other stuff going on. Get you in, get you onboarded, and get you into the flow of how we do things. So yeah, that's that. Right, well, there's some questions in the chat box that I see. Let's have a little look. Does the membership renew on date of joining? Does the membership renew? Yeah. And we'll ask you, obviously, Sarah, you know, if you want to join for the year, and then we can, we will keep you noted about what goes on. And how many members we've got? We've got about 85 members, I think, something like that, Helen. Yeah, so it's a nice number. But you'll get to know lots of different people. So we try and split up the breakout group, so you do get to know lots of people along the way. What else do you want to know? I'm trying to think what sectors we've got. Should we just put on in the chat box which sectors you are members, what sectors you're in, or at sector function, and then people can see the different types of people we've got. I think that's also helpful, isn't it? Just have a little look at that. Construction and social value, get that one. Food, manufacturing, coaching, engineering, HR, coaching, sustainability, property, energy, power, finance, financial services. Well, yeah, we have all sorts, don't we? We have not-for-profit, retail, pharmaceutical. We do touch lots and lots of different sectors and people at different levels within that as well. So yeah, that might just help as well. Good. 1:15. We're going to finish early unless anybody's got any more questions. As I say, you can find out and join on the WLA.com. We would love to help you. If we talk to you and you think you'd like to give us a go, we would really love to. We want to, you know, I'm on this mission to help. We need more women in senior positions. We've got to have that gender balance. We need to find a way of doing it. And I believe we've got loads of great tools, great frameworks, and seeing women showing up as their truest self and their most powerful, authentic self. And we will start to see a change in organizations, I believe it. But we've got to get more women to believe in themselves and to see their potential. And then I think the world will be a better place. That's my little happy place that I like to sit in. Good. Well, if there's no more questions, I'm happy to stick around at the end if anybody wants to ask me anything they didn't want to ask in the group. That's absolutely fine. Otherwise, I hope anybody interested in joining? Do I get a thumbs up, thumbs down, or a maybe? Always useful to see. Maybe. Few maybes. You're not saying no. Few. Good. It'd be lovely. However, whoever joins, we would love to see you. Nice to see you all, everybody. I'll stop the record and hopefully we will. I will get to see you again very soon next week. Take care.
Thanks,
Thank
Anne.
you.
Thanks,